This is Charter Local Edition. I'm Brap Pomerance. Glad you're still with us. Our guest is Bill Lockyer. He's Treasurer of the State of California. And I want to talk to you about the credit of the State of California. My first very simple question is, why should the average Californian care what our credit rating is? How does it impact me and you?
Well, and particularly to hear it from the banker.
You are the banker.
But the point is, when the credit rating is good, and it's been improving for California because the legislature and governor have enacted more balanced, disciplined budgets. When that improves, we borrow, which we routinely do to just cash flow bills or build schools, build freeways, build levees, transit systems, and so on. When we borrow, we get a better rate.
It's that simple.
And it's like you refinanced your house, and you, instead of paying 5%, you're paying 3%, or whatever the numbers might be.
That being said, we still are in deficit. It's better than it used to be. This year, maybe the deficit's $9–10 billion. Last year was $26 billion. So if we're in deficit, why is the credit rating improving? It still doesn't seem very positive.
Well, a budget was enacted basically on time, and that was a new thing, and that really is a consequence of the majority vote budget. So there wasn't a stalemate for months and months. But then, and of course the voters decided that. But additionally, when you have a $20 billion hole and you reduce it to maybe 5 on an ongoing basis, plus the carryover hole, that is such good news to the people that look at our credit rating that it made a difference.
At the same time, the governor is banking on the voters passing an initiative in November which would increase sales tax by 0.5 cent for 5 years, increase income taxes on the wealthiest. What do the markets think of that proposal? Because it is such an important part of closing our current deficits.
Right. Well, the general reaction from credit analysts is we don't care whether you cut spending or increase taxes, balance your budget.
Really?
So they're very neutral about the way in which you do it. So for them, that's a good positive sign that there's more commitment to making the budget balance.
And I'm learning as we speak. Are the analysts, for example, do they look at polls which show that the governor's initiative is ahead, 72%?
Yes,
Does that make them happy to see?
They look at that sort of thing to see whether it's a realistic plan or not. That's part of their calculation.
At the same time, the comptroller has issued reports he does every month, and it suggests that cash flow isn't quite as positive as the Department of Finance has thought it would be. So what does that do for us?
Well, they've always, historically, had these arguments about predicting revenues in the future, and this is not new.
Of course.
And so we have one now with more attention to it because of the fiscal situation.
We also see that the economy is turning around. It's hard to know if it's a full throttle recovery or if it's much slower. But even in California, which has been hit pretty hard by this recession, joblessness is going down. What do we have to do in terms of numbers to convince the credit agencies even further that you should improve our credit rating? Or are we back to where we're not back to where we should be. We're still pretty low.
No, we're creeping ahead of another state or two.
Are we 50th?
We're not at the bottom, which we were for a long time. So what they want to see is budget discipline.
It's that simple.
They're not saying how much do you spend for schools versus prisons or any of that policy stuff. They're just saying, does it balance?
Okay, his name is Bill Lockyer. He is the Treasurer for the State of California. My name is Brap Pomerance. I want to thank you so much for watching us on Charter Local Edition. We're going to send you back to HLN.
Charter has increased its internet upload and download speeds again. With all this power, I can download 50 pictures in under a minute, or 8 songs in 20 seconds. I can do anything. I can conquer armies.
Timothy, your spaghetti's ready.
Call now to get Charter Internet Express for only $19.99 a month.